Alright, hello, and welcome to Crochet Along with Hannah. I'm Hannah, but if you've been watching before, you already knew that. I'm coming at you today from the Upper Chichester Library, as always. I want to get some quick announcements out of the way, all the commercials, before I jump into the video. We have a lot of stuff going on at the library. Excuse me, I'm just trying to pull this live stream up on my phone so I can keep an eye on things. And hope my sound is down. If you're joining today, thank you for joining me. Let's get the little commercials out of the way so we can get to these holiday ornaments. First off, we are raffling off 3 designer bags. We have a Michael Kors, a Coach, and a Kate Spade bag that we're raffling off. There are going to be 3 winners, 1 bag per winner. The tickets are $5 for one, or you can get 3 tickets for $10. You can purchase those here. This will coincide with the Upper Chichester Township's holiday parade, and at the conclusion of the parade is when we will be drawing our winners. You do not need to be present to win. We will take down your name and phone number, and if you win, we will call you and let you come pick up one of the bags. The winner will be chosen on December 11th at roughly 8 o'clock, whenever the holiday parade concludes. That's when we'll draw our winners. Second, we have a pie sale. So the Friends of the Library are hosting a fresh baked pie sale, and the baker that we are partnering with, his name is Dana. He is from The Next Great Baker. He's a contestant with, the whole Cake Boss crew. His pies are phenomenal. They're $20 a piece, and you can choose from old-fashioned apple pie, old-fashioned cherry, bourbon pecan, chocolate pecan, pumpkin, caramel apple, or sweet potato. They're all good. He comes highly recommended. He's phenomenal. We also have an upcoming class with Miss Teresa. It's free. The supplies are free. You can, sign up through our website, and it's a holiday wreath making class. We are going to be providing all of the materials for free, as we do with our classes. So if you want to join, you can either email director@upperchichesterlibrary.org, or you can go to our website. The email address to register is there. Just shoot an email and we will get back to you with the registration link. You can start picking up the kits on Saturday or tomorrow, but we need to know that you're coming beforehand so that we can get the kit together, because we're making them per request, instead of just having them to give out. Like, once you register, you can go pick that up. And as always, we have our other Facebook programming. Our Books and Babies and our story time hours are every Monday. Miss Nancy is in charge of our story time, and Miss Sarah is in charge of our Books and Babies, and they both do a fantastic job. Art parties with Miss Teresa is tomorrow. She's going to be doing a Facebook Live art program. You can request kits for those. Again, they're free. Everything that we try to keep things free here, because, my kits are also free of charge. They come with a skein of yarn, a crochet hook, some instructions, how-to guides if you've never crocheted before. There's a darning needle in there. It is plastic, but still supervise any children that you're going to allow to participate with the crochet tutorials. Just because they're plastic doesn't mean, Today we are going to be crocheting some holiday ornaments, and they are quick, easy little projects. Excuse me, I need to grab a skein of yarn from across the table. All of the yarn that I am using and the hooks came from Knit Picks. The yarn is Brava. It is a worsted wheat acrylic yarn, so it's hypoallergenic. So you don't have to worry about that. It's machine washable. You just got to be careful, follow the instructions on the label. But today we are going to do some quick holiday ornaments that I thought would be a fun, quick little project. Most of them don't take much thought. If you've crocheted before, you should be able to whip this together with ease. If not, go follow one of my previous scarf videos. The original one is probably the best one because that takes you back to the basics. So if you've never crocheted before, that is a good video to start with. And as always, if you have any questions or you need help with anything, bring it on by the library. If I am here, I will help you. If not, just leave your information and I'll get back to you. You can hit me up through the messenger, through our Facebook page, shoot the director an email, through our website. I will answer anything you need me to answer pertaining to these crochet classes. So the first ornament that we're going to do today, because I'm going to do a couple of them, this is a star ornament. Like, this is great for any type of decoration. It does not have to be holiday related. You can do them in any color that you choose. I'm going to use gray today because all of my white yarn is gone. I don't have any yellow either. So we're going to use gray for my star, but it is pretty cute. It's quick. It's easy. And you can decorate windows with it. You can put them on your holiday trees. You can use them wherever you feel like. They're even cute in nurseries or as accents to different things. If you don't want to use it as an ornament, you could use it as an embellishment on a scarf or a hat or something. It's nice. We're going to start with Ace. You're going to not. I forgot what that's called for a minute. I have not caffeinated yet. I apologize. Slip knot. That's what we're going with. Anyway, get your slip knot on your hook. And I want you to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to also show you how to hook these together in a string in a little bit. As soon as we get a few ornaments together, I will show you how to chain them onto a string. The pattern calls for 5 chains. If you want, add 1 extra one and forget it's there, because this will help you attach it to that chain really quickly. If this is a standalone, don't worry about that. You can also leave a longer tail and sew it into a long piece of garland, or just throw a little hook on there. But we have 5 chains on our hook. I did make the 6th one, but I'm going to forget that's there. So we're just not going to work with that at all. You're going to slip stitch into the 5th chain from your hook. It'll create a little circle. You can also magic circle this, but this is an easier method. After you slip stitch, you chain 1. And then we are going to crochet around, and we're going to start with what we call a bobble stitch. And the pattern does explain the bobble stitch. Sometimes if there is a stitch that's not commonly used in crochet, the pattern writer will include a description on how to perform that stitch, because everybody does them differently. So this one, it'll tell you, it is on page 3 of this pattern, that you are going to yarn over, go through that center loop that we just created, that circle, yarn over again, pull through. You've got 3 loops on your hook. You're not going to pull through those yet. You're going to yarn over and go back through that center, yarn over and come back through one more time, yarn over, go back through that center, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, and go back. You're going to do this total of 4 times. So you've got quite a bit of nonsense. Do not crochet this too tight. If it's way too tight on your hook, you're not going to be able to get your hook back through all these. This is a very fiddly step, but it can be done. Kind of pinch them together before you pull through. It kind of keeps them nice and secure, and then pull through all of those. This is what you call your bobble stitch, and you secure that bobble stitch at the end by just chaining one, and it creates kind of like a little puff. We are going to go ahead and, I'm sorry, I should have had more than one of these set up, but I did not. Go back to the pattern, and it tells you you want to do 4 more of these. So you're going to have a total of 5 bobbles. This is what starts to create our star shape for this. Last week we did a star pattern blanket. That was a little bit differently. This is a small ornament, so we're not going to go that method. It will not form the star quick enough. This is a 5-pointed star. The last blanket we did was a 12-pointed star. There's different methods to make different things. So go ahead and create 4 more bobble stitches. I started by yarning over, go into your loop, pull through another loop, yarn over, go back through. This is our second. Yarn over, go through your loop, yarn over, pull it through. That's number 3. Yarn over, go back through your loop, yarn over, pull up another loop. That is number 4. At this point, we are going to yarn over and pull through. And again, we secure that with another slip stitch. And as you see, I kind of crocheted that bobble a little too tight, and I had trouble pulling my hook through. That's why I said, watch your tension. It gets me too, because sometimes, you know, you're used to making nice and secure stitches. This one, you want to go on the loose side. If you need to, go up a hook size, but just keep a mind on how tight that you're going. So we're going to yarn over again. We're going to do our 3rd bobble, yarn over, draw up a loop. We got 3, yarn over, that makes 4, yarn over, it's 5, yarn over, pull through. We have a total of 6. We got to do 2 more passes, yarn over, that's 8, yarn over, go through, yarn over, that's 10. You're going to have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You should have about 9 or 10 loops on your hook at this point. Pull that through, chain 1. We have 3 done. We're going to do 2 more, yarn over, go through, yarn over, pull through, that's 3, yarn over. This is our second one. We now have 5, yarn over, that's 7, yarn over, that's 8, 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep, we have 9 loops. So we are going to yarn over, and that makes 10, and we are going to pull through all of those. I did not get all the way through those. There we go. And we are going to chain 1 to secure that. Now we have 4. It kind of created a little box. I crocheted over my extra chain 1, but that's okay. I can always put that back in later. You're going to do your last bobble stitch to end this row. 1, 2, 3, 4. Finish that off, chain 1, and it kind of starts looking like a little flower. I will pull my tail a little bit tighter once I close off this round. Then you're going to take your hook and you are going to slip stitch into that top chain 1 space of that first bobble that we did. And then there is a chain one space. We're going to start working into that. Between the two bobbles, we have our first bobble here that we just connected to. The second bobble is over here. We are going to work in the chain one space between those two. You're going to slip stitch into that. And then, sorry about that. We're going to chain one. This does not count as a stitch. We are going to work 2 bobble stitches into this chain one space. You're going to do your first bobble stitch. You're going to chain one. You're going to do another bobble stitch and chain one more, just like we did in the initial round. So we're going to do 2 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to yarn over again, and we are going to chain 1. And we're going to start our second bobble right in that same chain one space we were just working in. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to guide our hook through all of those, and we're going to chain 1 again. And you can see, once we crochet a little more, you'll see that that is going to start pulling these into little peaks and creating our star pattern. So you can kind of see it. It's pointing up a little bit. We're going to do that in all of the gaps between round one's bobble stitches. We're going to put 2 bobble stitches in each one. So we're going to move over to the next chain one space between the next 2 bobbles. 1, 2, 3, 4. This one was a little bit too snug. I'm going to have a little bit of difficulty, and I'm going to chain 1. And I'm going to yarn over, and I'm going to put my next bobble stitch in. 2, 3, 4. Chain 1 and move to our next bobble stitch. We have 2 sets done. We're going to work our way around and finish another one. 1, 2, 3, 4, chain 1, do our next bobble stitch in the same chain 1 space. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pull our hook through all of those loops, chain 1, and we now have 3 sets of our bobbles done. Work on set number 4 in the next chain 1 space. 1, 2, 3, 4. We are going to pull that through. Chain 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, pull through all of those loops, chain 1. That is set number 4. We're coming up to our last set of bobbles. I'm going to pull on my center thread a little bit to close that off so that it doesn't lose its shape. And I'm going to work my next set of bobbles in that last chain 1 space of the round. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pull through all of those. Chain 1, do our next set, yarn over, go through your space, draw a loop, pull it up, do that 3 more times. Two, 4, pull that through, all of those loops, chain 1 to secure it. And then we're again going to go back into the top of our first bobble of that round, and we're going to slip stitch. That is the end of round 2. It's a circle at this point. It kind of looks like a cute little flower. It's also a great way to start a hat. You know, I do have a Bobble Stitch pattern hat, but we're not doing that today. We're going to finish off the start. Believe it or not, this is round 3. This project has 3 rounds. It's very quick, very simple. I'm about 20 minutes into this video. The first 10, 15 minutes were all me talking about our programming. So this is very quick. We are going to, again, we've slip stitched into the top of our first bobble. So we're going to slip stitch into our first chain 1 space of that round. From here, we are going to chain 1 again. This does not count as a stitch. We are going to work a different set of clusters. We're done with the bobbles. We are going to do 3 double crochets, 1 treble crochet. We're going to chain 3, and then we're going to do that first pattern in reverse, where we do 1 treble crochet and then 3 double crochets. And I will show you the treble crochet. It's a little bit different. It's not too much different than a double. It's just 1 more step. So we're going to get into that now. We have that. We're going to do our first double crochet. So we're going to yarn over, go through that chain 1 space, yarn over, pull through. And with our 3 loops on the hook, I'm going to tilt this down so that you can see what my yarn is doing. I have 3 loops on the hook. I'm going to yarn over. I'm going to pull through the center 2. I'm going to yarn over. I'm going to pull through those last 2. That is a double crochet. If you've crocheted with me in these videos before, you already knew that. But if you're just watching, then that's how you do that. We're going to do 2 more of those. So yarn over, go through your loop, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2 more. We're going to put 1 more of those in there to make our 3. So we're going to yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2 more. For this treble crochet, we are going to yarn over twice. So we've already got 3 loops on our hook. You're going to go back into the chain 1 space. You're going to draw up a loop. You've got 4 on your hook. You're going to yarn over. That makes 5. You're going to pull through these first 2 loops on your hook. That leaves you with 3. You're going to complete this like it's a double crochet. So you're going to yarn over, you're going to pull through 2, and you're going to yarn over and pull through 2 more. And that creates like a mountain peak, because you've got your 3 double crochets and then your 1 treble, which kind of points it up at an angle. That is what's going to form our star peak. And we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. This helps when we work back down our next cluster, which we're going to do. We're going to yarn over twice, go into that chain 1 space we've already been working in, draw up a loop. It's a little fiddly, but if you tug on it a little bit, it should take back into its shape. We're going to yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops on that hook. We're going to yarn over, pull on the next 2 loops from that hook. We're going to yarn over again and pull through those last 2. And that is our next treble. And then we are going to do 3 more double crochets to complete this cluster. 1, 2, 3. And that is our first set. That is what's going to form our star peak. I'm going to readjust my camera in just a second. And we're going to go right into our next chain 1 space. Between these 2, you're going to skip this chain 1 space. This next one, you're going to be working these peaks in the center of these 2 of your clusters from the last round. So you want to work in between the 2. It forms like a little V. You'll be able to see the difference. So you're going to go into the next space we're going to be working in. You're going to put in your 3 double crochets. There's 1, 2, 3. We're going to do a double crochet, so a treble crochet, excuse me. So we are going to yarn over twice, go through our stitch, draw up a loop, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the second 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the last set of our loops. We're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Again, this is a 5-pointed star, so you're working in between the 2 bobbles of that last round. There was 5 clusters of bobbles. You're going to go in between those clusters. We're going to work our way back down, so we're going to start with a treble crochet. So we're going to yarn over twice, go through our chain 1 space, draw up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Excuse me, I have the hiccups again. Then we're going to do 3 more treble crochets. 1, 2, 3, yarn over, make our way to our next set. We're going to do 3 more treble crochets. 1, 2, 3, chain, oh, not yet, do our treble, yarn over twice, go through your stitch, pull up a loop. You've got 4 loops on your hook again, so we're going to yarn over, pull through the first 2. You're left with 3, yarn over, pull through those first 2. You're left with 2. Yarn over, finish the set, pull through those 2. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Reverse your pattern, do a treble crochet. Yarn over twice, go in, draw up a loop. Yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, pull through 2 more. Yarn over, pull through your last 2. And complete that cluster with the last 3 double crochets. Yarn over once, draw up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, go back in, do another double crochet. Complete that set with our last double crochet of that set. You're always going to have 3 double crochets, 1 treble, a chain 3 space, and reverse the pattern. Your treble, your 3 doubles, move on to the next cluster. We have 3 out of the 4 done. So we're going to go into this next set, start our 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Oop, I forgot my treble crochet. Gotta back that out. Don't forget your treble crochet, that's important. Yarn over twice, go into your loop, draw up a loop, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through the last 2. Now we're chaining 3. 1, 2, 3. Yarn over twice. Do another treble. 1, 2, 3. 3 more double crochets in that cluster, excuse me. 2. That was 1, 2, 3. Now we have 4 out of the 5 done. We're going to finish off that last one, and I will show you what we finished with. We're going to yarn over and do 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. We're going to yarn over twice. We're going to do our treble. So 1, pull through 2, pull through 2 more. Chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Do another treble crochet. So we're going to yarn over twice, go in, draw a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over again, do 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. And that is completed our deal. And we are, instead of going, we don't have a bobble stitch, we're going to go into our slip stitch space where we did our slip stitch, and we're going to close that off there. I am going to finish this off. I'm going to cut a little tail, I'm going to weave that through to get that out of the way. If you want to, you can, we could have just slip stitched up that star and made a chain in the center of that, but I'm not even using my darning needle. I just take my crochet hook and weave it through that way. It's one less thing I have to worry about trying to fiddle with. And then you're going to weave in this end through the center. I could show you how to do that. When you weave through, you want to go around and fasten that off. But we're going to pretend these tails just don't even exist right now. There is our star. It's cute. It's a little bit puffy. If you wanted to do these in cotton, they would make great little holiday coasters. I mean, you know, they're cute. If you want to attach it to a tree, it's as simple as leaving this longer, slip stitching all the way up to this peak. Then you would slip stitch into the peak, chain about 10, slip stitch again, and then cut that off and then weave your ends back down through the other, and then you can hang it right on your tree. You can put a little hook in there. You can make a bunch of these and sew them together to make a cute little centerpiece. These are quick and easy. This took us 10 minutes to do, and that was with me explaining everything. So, you know, this is a quick project. You can get multiple of these out of one skein of yarn. You can do them in various colors. You can change your color throughout the process of this. It's adorable. It's quick. It's easy. It's cute. That is our first holiday ornament. That was our start. For the next one, I am baby stepping this because the light bulb I might have to do in a different class. Our second one, this is a flat type of a light bulb. It's not going to be puffy. We do have a pattern that we're going to work on. Hopefully I have time to get through it today. If not, I will do a part 2 to this at some point this week to finish off that pattern. But this is like a flatter, it'll lay flat kind of like this does. I do have a pattern that creates a garland type light bulb, but we're gonna decide whether or not we're gonna do that based on how much time I have left to do this live stream. So we are going to choose a different color of yarn. I have red in front of me, so I am just going to do that. I have it attached to another project. Excuse me for a second. I am not going to... This one, like, it shows changing the yarn multiple times. You can do that to get a different effect, but I am just going to use all one color for the sake of saving time for the video. For this, we are going to be using our chain stitches, our double crochet, a double triple crochet, a triple crochet, and a single crochet. I'm missing instructions for this. I may not be able to show you this one today. We're going to move on to the other holiday ornament. I am going to have to part 2 this one and do the other holiday ornament because I am missing pages to this that I did not realize. So we're going to do the little Christmas bulb, the puffy one, which is cool because this is the one I really wanted to teach you guys. This one is quick. It's fun. I already have step 2 going over here. I'm going to start with the gray yarn again because you want to make the light socket first. Get a stitch marker for this. I am going to do that myself. I don't have a stitch marker near me. What I do with my handy dandy scissors. If you don't have an actual stitch marker, get an alternating piece of yarn that's a different color than what you're working with. You're going to want one for this. We're going to start this. You want to leave a longer tail so you can attach this to your garland. You're going to chain a garland at the end and hook these all together if you want to. If not, you can do some standalone bulbs. They're cute for hanging in windows. You know, it's fine. You want to leave a longer tail. I would recommend about, 8 inches or so. And it calls for a magic circle, but I am just going to chain 3. I taught you guys this last time. It comes in handy if you don't want to fiddle with the magic circle, which I do not right now. It says to, once you do your little, you slip stitch into the 3rd chain from the hook, and then we're going to work 6 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Before I finish off the 6th stitch, I am going to place my piece of yarn. I'm just going to drape it across where my hook is, where this stitch is going to be completed, because you want to keep track of these rounds, because these are not, you're not going to chain 1. You're not going to be able to visibly see where your next round starts. You want to mark the last stitch of the previous row so you know where your stuff is ending. And I am just going to yarn over like so. That did not go in there, did it? Yeah, it did. Because this is worked in the round, and now I can see where my last stitch was. So I know that that went in there a little bit weird, but that is fine. I'm going to pull this up. Stick your hook through that last stitch you did at the top of it and pull half of your yarn through so you can see that that's your last stitch of that round, because we're not chaining up. You're not going to be, this is crocheting in the round, which means there's no slip stitching. It's just, you just keep crocheting. That is why I urge you to use some sort of indicator for your last stitch of your last row. It just makes it easier, because, you know, sometimes we can't do these all in one shot. You come back later, you don't know where you're at. You don't want to have to undo the whole project. It's a quick project, but you don't want to have to sit and start over like 7 times. It's frustrating. We're going to start our round by going into the top of the stitch from our previous round, and we're going to do 2 stitches in there, 2 single crochets, 1, 2, and we're going to pop 2 stitches in each single crochet from the previous row. So 1, 2, 2 in the next one, 1, 2, I'm a little bit tangled, excuse me. Next 2, 1, 2, and then this is our last stitch of our last row, so I'm going to move this out now, and I'm going to put 2 stitches here. That'll finish off that. 1, 2. Again, I'm going to stop. I'm going to draw up a loop just so I don't unravel my work. And I am going to feed my stitch marker through that last stitch that I just did, because that is the end of that row, and I want to mark that so I know where my end row of the row is. I'm just going to put my hook back into my work, adjust the yarn, make sure you're grabbing the right tail because I always grab the wrong one. It's the problem with working with a longer one. It tends to, you pull the wrong one. You don't want to. And we should have, I believe, 12 stitches. And we do, let me just, one, two, three. There we go. That's my last one. I missed this spot. I skipped a stitch somewhere. But that is okay. We are going to fix that. The problem with trying to do and explain at the same time is sometimes you get ahead of yourself. But that's all right. Everything is fixable. Like I just did. Readjust my hook. My stitch is marked. This is also why we do stitch markers. So now we have 12 stitches from that round. We are not increasing in row 3. We are going to crochet one single crochet in the back loop of each stitch, which means you're not going to go underneath both of these loops like we normally do. You're going to go in just the one in the back away from you, like that, and just do your single crochet as normal. There is going to be one of those per stitch. We should have 12 stitches again at the end of this row, so go ahead and do that. One single crochet in the back loop of each stitch. This is number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and stitch number 12 should go into the last stitch of your previous row. So again, I'm going to move my stitch marker, pop stitch number 12 in there. I am going to draw my loop. I am going to feed my stitch marker into there. If you can go buy stitch markers, you can use paper clips, whatever you want. I've seen people use bread twisters. It's just handy to, you always got scrap cuttings laying around a yarn. You can just use. If you're planning on walking away from a project, I highly recommend an actual stitch marker so that it doesn't come out. But this is good if you know you're going to sit and finish the whole thing all at once. So that is the end of that round. Now again, we are not going to increase in this row, in row number 4. We are going to just do one single crochet in the top of each one, not in the back loop, just do a regular single crochet all the way around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and again we're going to finish where our stitch marker is, so we're going to pull that out. 12, resituate our stitch marker. I still need a stitch marker with stuff like this because I can't tell where things end and begin. So, because it's impossible when you do it in a round. It's like a continuous spiral instead of finishing it off. It's just. Move my tail out of the way. Readjust our hook. And begin our next round. Excuse me. This is the end of the light socket part. So I'm actually going to change colors. If I could find my scissors. I always cover them with papers. This doesn't have to be a long tail because we can just kind of hold this down and crochet right on top of it. So I am not going to leave it a super long one, just like an inch or 2. Just enough that when I'm changing colors, there's various methods to doing that. I just pull that one a little snug since I know I'm beginning a new row. And I'm going to hold that down. Excuse me, my face itches. Again, I'm going to grab. This is the bulb part. We just did the light socket, you know, the top of the light that hooks to the chain, the cord. That's what we just did. We are going to work on the bulb part. We changed. I hate starting a new skein of yarn on camera because it's always a mess. This is why you always see me just do one color in my tutorials, because it's a pain trying to get this going. Light bulb part. Back again. I'm going to slip knot. Might get ourselves in trouble for this color combination a little bit. We're using some blue and silver. Guess I should have grabbed the green one, but it's okay. Okay, now I put my next color into the first stitch of the round we're working on currently. I'm going to join that with a slip stitch just to secure that to this. Don't count that as a stitch. Now we are going to work in the front loops only. It's kind of like when we did the back loop. Instead of this time, you're going with the front loop. And we're going to single crochet all the way around. Again, we're going to end with 12 stitches. Did I go into the right spot? Nope, I missed. It's okay. Oh, we did. I totally pulled that stitch out for nothing. But it is okay. Slip stitch and single crochet. Hold your tails down. Crochet them right into your work. Save yourself some time from weaving them in later. Just kind of incorporate them when you close off each stitch. Just hold it down and work it in there. It saves you time. I hate weaving in ends. Does anybody else hate weaving in ends? I really do. This is why I just kind of, when I can, I work them right into the work so you don't have to weave them in later. Our bulb will start taking its shape in the next few rounds. And you will see that. And I decided to go with, teaching a 3-dimensional pattern today, mainly because I do have, and everybody's been asking me that stopped by here, when can I learn how to do a teddy bear? That teddy bear class is coming up in January, just in time to have it finished for February, and I am super excited that I finally get to teach that class. So if you can do this light bulb, you shouldn't have a fear about the teddy bear. We're going to continue going around. I'm going to have these ornaments, when I'm done with them, on display at the front desk here. So if you want to stop by and check them out so you can see them up close, that's fine. And that is the first round of that, because that was stitch number 12. Again, I'm going to draw my loop. Anybody else love blue as much as I do? I love blue. And this is a very vibrant blue. I love the fact that Knit Picks takes care of us the way that they do. Like, their yarns are amazing. Again, we are not chaining in. When you switch colors, it's going to look a little weird that first round, but this is an increase row. We are going to finish this row off with 18 stitches total. We are going to, this is going to be like full stitch. You're not going to need to go in back loop or front loop, just crochet into the whole stitch. Our first stitch of the next row is going to have 1 single crochet. Our next one is going to have 2 single crochets in the same stitch. So 1, go back into that same chain, that same stitch, pop a second stitch in there. that pattern is going to repeat all the way around. So that was 3 stitches. We want to get to 18. The next stitch has 1 single crochet. That's 4. We're going to go into the next stitch and put 2 single crochets in there. We're going to repeat this pattern all the way around. 5, 6, 7, 2 in the next one. This is stitch number 8. 9, 1 in the next. That's 10, 2 in the next one. 11, 12, 1 in the next one. That's 13. 2 in the next. 14. 1 in the next. And the last 2 stitches are in the last stitch of our last row. So that's 17 and 18. Again, draw up your loop, put your stitch marker in. If you do, the little plastic stitch markers are great because you don't necessarily have to back out of your stitch to fiddle with this nonsense. But I forgot to bring one over. And we're going to start on our next row. It's starting to take its little shape. It looks like a little mini hat. This is about the same thing you do to make a teddy bear. You just start, you know. So for the next, we have 18 stitches. For the next 3 rows, rows 3 through 6, we are going to have 1 stitch, 1 single crochet in each stitch. We're not going to increase in this again. So just do 3 rows of 1 single crochet per stitch. I'm just going to do my best to get through that as quickly as possible on cam. I'm going to take my hands off camera for just a moment because I crochet a little bit faster when my hands aren't up in the air like that. I love doing quick little patterns. If you haven't crocheted in a while and you want to get back into it, things like this, not necessarily always the holiday patterns, but these quick little projects kind of get you back into the flow of crocheting. It's nice to have something tiny to complete, but you can look back and be like, ah, that was cute. And then you just pick up like you never stopped. Because I tend to take a crochet break during the summer myself. I don't like messing with yarn during the summer. It's hot. Excuse me. We might sneeze on camera. And the sun keeps like glaring in my face, and unfortunately I am a sun sneezer. So if I sneeze, I apologize. We are getting there. I'm almost done with these 3 rows, I promise. Just single crochet all the way around them. Okay, I have 1 more row to play catch up with. Getting there. Sorry for the silence. I am just trying to like, if I talk while I'm trying to do this, it'll go a lot slower. But we are finishing up that last row number 6. Here's our last stitch. Draw a loop. Readjust our yarn on our hook. Start our next row. Okay. So we pretended to fast forward a little bit, but we really didn't. We are going to decrease this row. I don't think I've ever showed you decreasing before. We've shown you increasing, just adding an extra stitch to, you know, in a space. This time we're going to decrease. Our first stitch of the row, we are just going to put a normal single crochet in. For the second round, sorry, we're going to decrease. We're going to act like we're going to single crochet in our next stitch, but we're not going to close off our loop. we're going to go into the stitch next to it, draw up a second loop. So we have 3 loops on our hook, and then we're just going to pull through all 3 of those loops. So it's essentially merging 2 stitches. And we're going to do that all the way around. We are going to do 1 single crochet, and then we are going to essentially crochet 2 stitches together. So this stitch, we're going to go into that stitch next to us. We're going to draw up our loop. We're not going to close it off. We're going to go into the very next stitch next to that and draw up our second loop. And then we're going to crochet those together. 1 single crochet, 1 normal single crochet, and then 1 single crochet together. So draw up your loop, don't close it off, go into the next stitch, draw up that loop, and we should end up back at a 12 stitch count when this is done. 1 single crochet together, or excuse me, 1 normal single crochet, and then 1 together. One single crochet, crochet 1 together, one single crochet, and then the last 2 stitches we single crochet together. And then we are going to place our stitch marker back in our last stitch of that round. Just keep moving that stitch marker up in the last stitch of each row. And it really does make a difference in keeping track of where you are in the pattern. It's easy to get lost in one where you're just crocheting in the round. This made its way on the inside of this. This is no big deal. I can take either my crochet hook or a darning needle and pop that out the other side, and you'll see why eventually. Okay, so now that we've done that, we're going to do 2 rows of just single crochet all the way around. So rows 8 and 9 are just, again, single crochets. I'm not going to go off camera for that. This should be quick because it's only 2 rows. But I don't feel the need to explain to single crochet all the way around anymore, because at this point you should be pretty well acquainted with the single crochet. And my son is coming back to bother my face. And that's our last stitch there. That was row 8. So I have 1 more row to work around. 9, 10, 11, and this should be it for this. Yes, it is. 12. Again, I am going to pop my little stitch marker through. Every once in a while, flatten your project to make sure it's taking the shape you want it to. So far, so good. We are halfway through this bulb. At this point, it says to wait till row 10 to close it off to stuff our bulb, but I am going to do that now because, at least partially, we're not going to stuff it all the way. We're just going to put, you can use whatever you feel like to stuff the Christmas light bulb. I'm going to use some cotton balls because you can grab them from the dollar store. They're cheap. I'm not going to put these in the crochet kits. If you want to make these bulbs, just let me know and I'll give you a bag full, or at least a few. You don't need too many. You could use whatever you want. You can use tissues. You can use, like, go buy some cheap makeup sponges. Walmart sells polyfill. I like the polyfill. You can wash that. These cotton balls, do not throw these in the washer if you're going to wash these bulbs. You can use plastic grocery bags. You can cut those up and stuff them in here. You know, recycle, reuse. You want to keep the top of that flat. Don't overstuff, because this is a flat part of the bulb. It's supposed to be flat. Just kind of like, if you're using a cotton ball, don't stick it in there as is. Kind of like break it up so it's not so dense and it doesn't make a weird shape. And fill the inside of the light bulb with that, just a little bit. Don't completely stuff this yet. You don't want that. Again, you want to like mold it in there. Even with the polyfill, you're going to need to mold that a little bit. And we can always, you know, clean this up after. Just get a little bit of stuffing in there just to kind of hold the shape while you finish crocheting this, because waiting to fill it at the complete end when it's a pain in the butt. It's just easier. My yarn is all twisted. Oh, there we go. It's not a perfect shape yet. Bear with me. I just wanted to get some of that stuffing in there. Make my life easier at the end of the project. We are going to do another round where we decrease. Row 10 is another decrease row. So we are going to one single crochet again, and then we're going to crochet the next two together, and that's going to repeat all the way around. So one single crochet together all the way around. We are going to end up with 8 stitches this time. So that one single crochet, and don't do the two together too tight, because that is going to create gaps in your work and stuffing is going to come spilling out, and it's just not fun. Honestly, you could line these light bulbs with little baby socks. It'll help your stuffing to keep from popping through. one. And then we're going to crochet our last 2 stitches together. Remove our stitch marker, finish that off, crochet that, drop our loop, back through that last stitch, draw our little stitch marker through that. For row 11, we're just going to single crochet 2 together all the way around. So you're going to go in a stitch, draw your loop, go into the next stitch, draw a loop, close it off. That's the entire round. This is our last round of this. And then I'm going to show you how to like finish filling this and sew it together. Actually, I am going to pop another little cotton ball in there now, because closing this off is going to make it a little difficult. You can use a pencil if you're having trouble, like when you're filling it at the end after it's closed off a little. Use a pencil to kind of like help guide the stuffing into place. Pencil, pen, make sure you don't like, you know, whatever you got. Use another crochet hook. It's okay. But I am going to finish crocheting these together now. I think I need to readjust my filling a little bit. But we will do that after this round is done. Okay. This one. Crochet that together. And then one more time, I'm going to move my stitch marker. And I'm going to crochet that together. And this is where you kind of want to work the filling in to where you want it to sit. Squish it around because we are about to, I'm going to show you how to close this off. We are going to draw a loop so that we don't cut our tail too short. I'm going to pull that through like that, snug that up. You're still going to see like a little bit of a gap at that closing. I am going to show you how to close that off. This is where your darning needle comes into play. This is the same method I use to close off little teddy bears. Again, this is good practice. If you would like to join me for my teddy bear class, I have the hiccups. Kind of squish your yarn together. Roll it between your fingers. Feed that through. If your end is a little bit frayed, just trim it up a little. Feed that through. We are going to weave. There's a little circle We're going to weave into one stitch and then go in the opposite direction, go towards the center of that for the next one. My tail is too long. Shorten that up a little bit. And you're going to do that all the way around, in through one side, out the other. Until you reach the beginning again. I like to tuck that back through itself to kind of knot that off. And then you're just going to pull that until it closes. It's like a little drawstring at this point. It feeds it through, it closes up that gap. And my battery is dying on my laptop, so I am going to have to cut this short in the next few minutes. And then to hide your tail, you can kind of cut that loose. I am the laziest crocheter you will ever meet. I have found so many shortcuts to like this nonsense. You should have had a couple of knots in there. And then I'm just going to stick it back, the needle back through my work and feed my tail through that and then trim it off. Because if you've knotted it and you've secured it, there's no reason for it to come loose. Dab a little fabric glue at the top if you want to, you know, nitpick. And make sure it doesn't, like if you've got kids or animals. I've got animals. Let me tell you, you need to secure everything. And then that is our little Christmas bulb. I've got some, I usually use polyfill. I used cotton balls today because that's what I have here. Again, we have the Christmas bulb and our little Christmas star. Those are two of the holiday ornaments. I do have that third bulb I'm going to film later and add to this event. But thank you for joining me today. I'm going to cut this short before my camera feed runs out and my computer shuts down. I'm on a laptop. Thank you for joining me today. If you have any questions, feel free to stop by. Have a great day.